Hey there, Stampers. It's Jen Pitta with By the Shore Stamping. I'm here today to give you another last-minute hack for gift giving this year. I don't know if any of you are like me, but I'm still running around like a crazy lady, still having tons of stuff left to do, including writing out and mailing my 100 and actually it's like 200 Christmas cards that are in the works at the moment. And then I have to focus on some shopping, so it's been a bit of a crazy week, but it's all good and fun, so we'll be fine. But today I wanted to share with you a quick little gift card holder idea. Last week I did a gift bag, so I thought this week, I'm sure many of you are like me and have some challenging folks to buy for, and so gift card is always the right option. And this is a great way to present that gift card in a way that's a little more exciting than just here's your gift card. So we'll make one of these today, and I'm using the Cheers to the Years, I think it's called Specialty Designer Series paper, which is in the holiday catalog. That catalog is only good through the end of the month, so if there's anything in there that you want, make sure you grab that soon. There's a few items that are carrying over, but it's always better to be safe and just grab what you want before it is too late. But anyway, let's get started with this little gift card holder. And here, let me show you how this operates. So this is a belly band, so this comes off, and then we open that up, and I actually have my credit card in here because I haven't gotten any of my gift cards yet, so I'm gonna remember to take that out or I might be in trouble at the store. But there is the inside, and then you would just put a gift card or what have you in there instead. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on, and it just slips right back on there. And you got a cute little gift card holder. All right, so first things first, we're going to start with a piece of Whisper white cardstock that is 3 by 10, and I'm going to grab my Simply Scored tool, and I'm going to stick that up in the top corner here, and I'm going to score at 4 and 8. Hopefully that was the right numbers because I didn't write them down, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So 4 and 8 are my score lines, and I'm nice and simple to remember. I like quick and easy when it comes to crafting. I sometimes say I should have been the lazy stamper because that is me. I like the easiest direct route for my crafting. So I'm going to go ahead and crease these. I am using the thick Whisper white cardstock only because I'm out of the other stuff, but it actually makes a nice base for this because it's nice and sturdy. So there you have your little template here. And because this is going to be kind of manhandled a bit, I'm going to use my tear and tape to secure the pocket. So I'm just going to tear a little piece off of that and stick it right along the edge here. And you want to make sure you burnish that, so you're just going to rub your finger along that a little bit. And then I'm going to tear another little piece for the other side, right along the edge, and I'm going to go ahead and burnish that a little bit. And now we'll pull both of those up. Oops, pulling on the wrong one. Come on. And then we will go ahead and stick that down, and I'm going to again just kind of make sure it's fully, and then just make sure you can get your fingers in there so my card will fit. Now this piece here, this little piece, is the inside piece. This is 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and that will fit perfectly centered in the middle there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape that down. This is the easy part, so we'll do this the quick and easy. I'm going to go ahead and stick that on top here. And then I have a piece of the gold foil, which is 3 by 3/4 inch, and that is going to go right across the center here. And it's picking up the gold foil from the actual paper that I'm using. I love to pull my colors right from my paper. And then I just have a little scrap piece of white, which it happens to be 1 3/4 by 1. And I'm going to take the Season's Greeting stamp set from this one here, Cheers to the Years, or Cheers to the Year. This is a great set. It has so wedding, New Year, a little bit of Christmas, all working in the same stamp set. So I'm going to use the Season's Greetings here, and that coordinates with this paper. It's from the same suite. So again, whenever you're crafting, what's lovely about Stampin' Up! Stuff, is that it is very easy to coordinate your projects by just picking items out of the same sweet, and then you know you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp Seasons Greetings. Oops, did I do that off the screen? I couldn't tell. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then those of you that know me know I love to do a little inking of my edges. So I'm going to take my Crumb Cake ink and a stamping sponge. This never leaves my desk, honestly. I use these all the time. I love that like antiqued look. So I'm just going to take that and ink up the edge for that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of dimensionals. It does make it a little bit thick, but it does work. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again because I love my dimensionals as well. So I'm going to go ahead and place these down. And I'm going to go ahead and plop that right here on the inside. So now my inside is all done and ready. So for the outside, all I did was I took another piece of this snowflake paper. This one I believe is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So they're really easy measurements to remember. And then we're going to go ahead and put that right in the center here. Now remember, we want to be able to open this up, but we also want it to stay closed. So if I don't put something around this, it's going to keep popping open. So that's why I decided to do a belly band. They're a great answer to everything. So I'm going to go ahead and position it so it's like across the front here, centered if you can. And then I don't actually score it. I just take my fingers and I bend it over the edge and sort of crease it with my fingers. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. You just want to make sure that you have it straight. So see how that lines up nicely? Then I'll go ahead and crease that. And I'm going to, again, because this is going to be manhandled a lot, it's going to be pulled on and off this little piece of paper a bunch of times probably. I'm going to go ahead and use my tear and tape because it's a nice strong adhesive. So I'm going to just stick one here. And then because it overlaps quite a bit, so this will hold this part, I'm going to actually put it on this side too. And that way it will have 2 locations where it's got some nice sturdy tape. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're just going to go ahead and burnish those a little bit with your finger. And then we're going to pull this off. Whoops. And pull this off. And now we can just go ahead and line those up. And go ahead and stick those down. Okay. So now we've got the start of our belly band. To get these off, you just kind of squeeze and then pull. And the more you do it, like the first time you do it, it's going to be a little bit tighter. There you go. But the more you put it on and off, the looser it will get and the easier it will get for you to do that. So because I also love a little texture on my projects, I'm going to grab some of the linen thread and I'm going to wrap that around twice. And I'm going to go ahead and make a little bow for this. So a little trick with this is when you want it really tight, I go ahead and tie this. And I use my little finger to hold the spot in place, but now I'm going to tie a knot before I tie the bow. And that way it will make sure it's nice and tight here and you can just go ahead and tie your bow without worrying about it becoming too loose. And then you just kind of floof it up. Get it so that you like, and I wanted it to be a little bit longer strands here, so I'm going to cut them a little long. Alright, so there's that. You can see this is all coming together nicely. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my scrap. This is just a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to go ahead and take my Versamark ink. I'm on a heat embossing kick at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and ink up this snowflake, which is also from this set. The same Cheers to the Year stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that in the center here. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit towards the bottom because I'm going to need to punch it out, and I just don't want to have to trim off anything. So you can see you can't really see that right now because it's just a watermark ink, but I'm going to quickly sprinkle on the embossing powder. This is gold embossing powder. You could use any of ours because this has, the actual paper has silver, gold, and copper embossing and color in it, so you could use any of those embossing powders and it would work beautifully. But I'm using the gold. And then we're just going to take our heat gun and we're going to heat set that for a moment. This is like magic. It's one of my favorite things. When I first started stamping, it was one of the first things that got me hooked. And it will take a minute for this to get heated up, but once it goes, oh, there it goes, it's going to start turning that to shiny, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the camera, but it's really magical in person. And I always use something like these scissors or a pokey tool or something to kind of hold everything in place so that you don't burn your fingers, because that gun does get pretty hot, so you just want to be careful. All right, so I'm going to let that sit for just a second because you don't want it to be too hot when you go in with the with the punch rather, because it will it can kind of smush it, kind of like wet nails. If you touch anything with your wet nails and it puts like the indentations or your clothing mark on it, it can do the same thing if it's still super hot. Like it will take the impression of your fingerprint or what have you. But it doesn't take very long at all for that to cool down. So I'm going to go ahead and center this in my punch and punch that out. And of course, I'm going to grab the crumb cake and the sponge once again, and we're just going to ink up the edges. Okay, super simple. And then lastly, we're just going to grab some more dimensionals, and we're going to stick that on our belly band. You just want to make sure you're careful in that you don't put the dimensionals too far up so that it touches this paper or this paper, because then it won't slide off on the belly band. So you're going to want to make sure you put it kind of on this. So what I usually do is I actually put them on the belly band like that, and then pull these off. And now I can just stick this on top of here, and I know it's going to work perfectly because it's not going to get stuck on that paper. And then you just give it one little check, and actually it's easier because we put the dimensionals on the bottom here. It's a little bit thicker on the bottom, so it's going to be easier to get it on and off at the top. So, and sometimes you have to kind of squeeze your card a little bit to get it to go back on, but it will work beautifully. There you go. There you have it. Two super quick, super simple little gift cards. These are actually already earmarked for my sister and sister-in-law, because we always exchange gift cards for Christmas, and then we usually go on a little shopping excursion together. So it'll be fun. But I hope you have a great week. I'm not sure if I will be back for Teach Me Tuesday next week. It's possible. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in the day after Christmas, whether I'm feeling lazy or if I'm feeling inspired and creative. But I will certainly be in touch again for Teach Me Tuesday, the beginning of the new year. Can you believe it? 2018. So be sure to subscribe so you'll know as soon as I pop out another Teach Me Tuesday episode, and sometimes some surprise ones in between. So thanks so much for watching. It's been a great year, and I'm so excited to craft with you again in 2018. Have a great holiday, and we'll talk to you soon.